Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be updating my reading journal as well as my archive journal. I made a little spread for Valentine's Day, but that'll be at the end of the video. To begin with, I'm updating my reading journal, and this spread is for a manga I read called Far From Romance. This manga is by Amamiya, who, if you know, you know. I love her art style so much. I've read a few of her other works before, and I was excited, of course, to see that this one was being translated into English officially. I can't remember if anything else by her has been licensed. Maybe one other thing, I can't remember. But this story is about a man who lives in a very small city by the sea. He's kind of like the manager at this company. I don't remember what they do, web development, something like that. And one day they get a new employee at this company, and it's this white man, and they're like, what's he doing here? Why would he, someone who seems like he has like a lot of qualifications, why would he come to this random small city and want to work at their company? But they're like, all right, love to have you. I can't remember if his name is Lewis Carter or Carter Lewis. Both sound silly. But Lewis Carter, Carter Lewis is from England. And pretty soon in the story, I would say like by chapter 2, definitely, you learn that he and the main character know each other. Well, not so much that they know each other. They have met each other before in the past. I kind of was just talking about this not too long ago, that I don't usually enjoy this trope and that I don't usually say anything about it whenever it comes up in a story because it's kind of a spoiler. But I feel like in this case, this story, it literally happens in like the second chapter. So I feel like mild spoiler, but like not really. And because it does have this trope of one met the other in the past, or one knew the other in the past, or they both mutually met once upon a time and then like don't remember each other, whatever. I didn't love this as much as I have other Amamiya works. Like, it was definitely cute, but it just was not my fave. I did really like that it was set in the winter though. I feel like a lot of stories that do have kind of a seaside setting are usually set during summer, maybe spring. So I thought it was fun to see an environment like that during winter because it is currently still winter. And of course, because it is Amamiya, I absolutely loved the art. The art would never let me down, would never disappoint me. I honestly wish it was just a regular coworker romance, like just like a cute little office romance. I would have liked that better than the we knew each other once before. Like I don't know what it is about that. It's just like something about it is annoying. It's funny because I love the concept of like, you know, oh, I've never looked at anyone else. I've only ever loved you. But there's just something about it when it's like they knew each other in the past briefly. Like I hate that, especially when it's a one-sided thing. Oh my gosh, I absolutely hate that. When it's like, I will say it's not like that in this story, but like when that does come up and just one character remembers and the other one doesn't, I hate that so much. It's just so silly. I know that's a me problem though, so I don't want to make it seem like this story was terrible or anything. The only like actual gripe I had with it was during the first explicit scene. I really did not like Lewis Carter Lewis's attitude, like at all. Sometimes I have more tolerance for this, but I hate whenever a character is like, oh, I can't hold back anymore. I'm like, yes, you can. Also, another thing in this story that I was just kind of like, okay, was Lewis Carter Lewis is a weeb, essentially. I mean, maybe, I guess like in the story it was framed as, oh, he just has like a deep appreciation for Japanese culture. But I don't know, I'm always gonna side eye a white man in any part of Asia who, quote, has a deep appreciation for the culture. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm just happy that something of Amamiya's could be officially published in English, unless there's something else, because like I said before, I can't remember. Because the art, oh my gosh, I feel like I could talk about her art forever. Like there are just scenes that don't even have any dialogue, and they're just, you can feel the feelings. You can sense the longing and the passion. The emotion just really comes through always whenever I read her work. And I just, you know me, I love like that kind of something sketchy about it. Like not in a bad way, not sketchy like sketchy. Sketchy as in like pencil sketchy. I love that sort of art style. So I guess to summarize, art, beautiful, of course. I don't think this is bad. It just has a trope that I don't love. And I think because of that, the rest of the love story was just kind of like, to me. But by no means did I think this was a bad story. It just, you know, sometimes one volume of a manga will have me like writing paragraphs and paragraphs of thoughts. And then sometimes it's like this, where it's like, yeah, this was fine. But of course, never let anything I say deter you. Like, I feel like if you, especially if you're someone who enjoys that trope a lot, then I feel like you would love the story. The next spread I'm making is also for my reading journal, like I said before, and this spread is for Give Me a Hug, Mr. Frog. This manga is being published officially, I want to say in September, but I started to think, I was like, I am probably not going to read this in September because, you know, that's when I read, you know, kind of like pre-Halloweeny things, and then in October I'll be reading Halloweeny things. So I was just like, I want to read this now. I don't know why Valentine's Day felt so appropriate of a time to read it, but it did. And I thought then maybe like by the time it's next year on Valentine's Day, then maybe I could reread it and read the official English license. Like that sounded like a plan to me. And I am really so glad that I read this because it did give Valentine's Day vibes to me. There's something about, well, let me tell you what the story's about and then I'll tell you maybe why it reminds me of Valentine's Day. Okay, so this is about a high schooler named Takanashi, and he goes past this, it's some sort of drink place or like a boba tea place, something like that. And they have a little mascot who's a frog. And so this place, I can't remember, maybe it's not a boba tea, maybe it's like a coffee shop. I don't even know. But because this place, they have this mascot, they have someone who's outside dressed as the mascot. And Takanashi sometimes sees him and he's just like, ooh, body tea. Like, and he's, the mascot gives hugs to kids all the time. And he's like, well, can I get a hug? He's like, where my hug at? And so one day he does hug the mascot and he's just like, ooh, he's so strong, like he's so warm. He really likes this guy. And then he finds out that the frog mascot is actually a classmate of his. And that's what this whole story is about. It was so cute. It was so wholesome. Takanashi was so bold and flirty. And then his classmate, the male lead, I believe his name's Hiruma, I can't remember. I think that's it though. He was just so sweet, so blushy. They were so cute together. And also I loved the male lead's little birthmarks. I thought that was kind of funny. The story felt so short too. I was so sad because it was so cute. I wanted more of it. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about it other than it was just two high school students falling in love, but it was just so cute. One of the main reasons I actually was ever even interested in reading this story is because the author has a story in Chinese. And it's kind of one of those that's like, it's a BL but not. It's called Two-Way Trial Youth. And it's just this random story that I started reading. I don't even know how long ago, 2 years ago probably. And it doesn't update frequently. As a matter of fact, it might even be on hiatus. I'm not sure. And so I couldn't believe when I was like, oh wait, this is by the same author because she has a different author name, a different pen name in Japanese than in Chinese. And anyway, I just really love Two-Way Trial Youth. I think it's so cute. And it has a really interesting art style too, kind of almost like watercolor-ish. And so it was also really fun to see how the art style was different and Give Me a Hug, Mr. Frog. And also there was a really cute panel where there were some of Takanashi and Haruma's classmates. And the classmates looked like the characters from Two-Way Trial Youth. One looked like Peiran, one looked like Shu, I think her name is. And then one looked like the new guy who comes to school in Two-Way Trial Youth. I forget what his name is. I wish you would have included Junhao too, because that's the main characters in Two-Way Trial Youth are Junhao and Peiran. But anyway, I thought that was cute, and I really want to buy a copy of this one day whenever it does officially come out in English. I just really want to support the author. I'm sure that must have been like a complicated process of, because like if she is Chinese, I don't even know. I mean, how does even all that work? I wonder, getting published in Japan, and then I don't even know. So wishing her the best of luck. I hope she's able to write more stories. This one was so good. The art was so good. It was so cute. It was so wholesome. I would absolutely read a sequel. Oh, also for the spread, I knew I had this one specific memo note saved, and I was so happy that I did in fact not like hallucinate it, because whatever that character is, it's a frog, and it's always with a little bird, and that was so relevant to the story because that's their government assigned animals, a frog and a little bird. The bird is relevant to the story too. Also the little Sunday parfait thing, that's from the back cover of the manga, and that's what they're looking at, like what they're about to eat in that panel that I used on the right hand side of the spread. Oh, and I forgot to say why I felt like this feels like Valentine's Day. I don't know what it is, but like the thought of there being like a mascot character dressed up like that reminds me of that one episode of SpongeBob, the Valentine's Day one with the chocolate. I don't know why. Like something about, I guess maybe like people dressed up as mascots like that kind of reminds me of Six Flags. I don't know. Somehow that was the correlation in my head. Like Valentine's Day, chocolate, that one Valentine's Day episode of SpongeBob involving the chocolate, mascots, Six Flags. Six Flags is an amusement park. There's an amusement park in that episode of SpongeBob. I don't know. That's the web of connection in my head. The last spread that I'm making in today's video is for my archive journal. It's my Valentine's Day spread, like I said at the beginning of the video. This is actually the second time I'm doing the voiceover for this spread because the first time I did it, I was just so whiny because basically I'm going to talk about Valentine's Day first, but then I also wanted to catch up. I said in my last video that I wanted to catch up and I never got the chance to. I just want to talk about everything that was going on, particularly in January. But anyway, Valentine's Day. So I didn't have any plans per usual, but usually on Valentine's Day, I love to watch a rom-com or at least like around Valentine's Day. And I guess I did watch when I watched Love, Rosie, but that was at the end of January. So I was looking for a rom-com and I couldn't find one. I tried watching Little Italy with Emma Roberts and it was so terrible. I just could not get through it. And I ended up seeing that Shutter Island was free on YouTube, so I rewatched Shutter Island. I feel like I maybe said this before, but when I was younger, my favorite movies were Shutter Island and Inception. I did make a spread about watching Shutter Island for my movie journal, but I just didn't screen record it. And also I haven't even like done the writing portion of it yet, so it's also not in this video, but I'll definitely show that to you next time. If you've never seen Shutter Island, I highly recommend watching it. Don't look up anything about it. Like, don't even look up the plot summary of it. Like, just go in blindly and press play. Oh, and also for Valentine's Day this year, I didn't get it on Valentine's Day, of course, but my best friend got me a jellycat. It's the first jellycat I've ever owned. It's a little macaron. She's red on the outside and then pink on the inside. She's so cute. I just have her sitting on my desk now. She is so soft. Like, I guess I knew that jellycats look soft, but she is so soft. And the only other Valentine's Day thing that I have to mention is, of course, Valentine's Day is Jaehyun's birthday. He posted an Instagram story that was already kind of insane due to the lyrics of the song. And then he posted a snippet of a song he must have been working on before he got yanked into the military. So that was kind of fun. You know, it was Jaehyun's birthday, but then why did I get the present? So that was Valentine's Day, but we can backtrack from there. So January was the longest month I've ever lived through, like just my whole life. Every January is long, but that one, wow, it really went on. I think it's because it was so cold. If you're American, then you know, it just like, there was a winter storm that like swept the whole country, I feel like. And you know what? It didn't even snow here. I guess it kind of did one weekend, but like nothing stuck. There was no ice. There was literally nothing here. It was just so cold. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, since last year, definitely, then you might remember I got zombie hands at the beginning of the year last year because if you don't know, I don't have any central air or heat. So it gets very, very hot and very, very cold in my house. And so this year I felt, you know, the chilblains forming again, but actually it was worse. My right hand, only my right hand, got so swollen. For probably 2 weeks, my right hand was completely swollen. Like, not even my hand, my fingers. The last time I did the voiceover for this part of the video, I was explaining why this was like particularly crazy to me, but I feel like I just don't have time to re-explain all of it to you. But basically, from the time I've been young, I've always been scared of my hands being, I hate to say fat, because that's not even what I mean. I just like have always been scared of like, I don't know, an allergic reaction almost sort of thing. It stems from being in the car as a child in the Burger King parking lot and seeing the employee at Burger King, just, she happened to be a woman who had larger hands. That plus, I don't know if you've ever read, I don't know if you've ever read The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, the Narnia book, but their cousin gets this, he steals this bracelet and it turns him into a dragon and the bracelet like embeds into his skin. I literally could not even read the word embedded for years because it made my skin crawl. Anyway, my worst nightmare came true. My hand wasn't like so big that I was like, oh my God, I gotta go to the hospital or anything like that. But like, I have pretty skinny fingers and usually my rings fall off of me, like, which is why I don't even wear them. And like, I went to put my rings on and they just fit. I was like, that is so scary. So my worst fear came true. And then after that, I was just feeling so down, not even about the cold, but just, as I always say, my life is no longer my own. I just don't have free time the way I used to. And so I kind of was in like a reading slump. It honestly wasn't even a reading slump. That's another reason why I love to make TBRs, because if I were not the kind of person that made a TBR and I had been feeling the way that I was feeling, I would have been like, so what do I read then? And I would have picked nothing and I would have kept going on and reading nothing. I feel like just so many things piled on top of each other that were making me upset. And then I wasn't even in the state of being like sad so much as just like empty, like just like, I guess this is it. Just resigned, being like, I guess this is just my life. So that happened. Also this month, because it was so cold, my mom was not on her regular leaving the house schedule. So I wasn't able to do voiceovers for my videos. That has thrown off my video schedule. Like, so much has happened. Oh, and then the last thing before I finish this spread, I cannot believe that Batu, I can't believe it shut down. You talk about the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Oh my God. But now that I am finished making this Valentine's Day spread, we can go put all the spreads that I made today into my digital journals. I was just thinking that I didn't make a spread for Lunar New Year this year, and I usually do. It kind of slipped my mind / kind of running out of time because February is almost over. Lunar New Year is definitely already over. Oh, that was so fun. It was the same day as Mardi Gras this year. Hopefully the year of the horse will be happy and prosperous for everyone. Also, as soon as I'm done with this voiceover, I have to go edit this video so that I can post it tomorrow, the day you're seeing it. Also, since it is Monday when you're watching this, Jino and Jamin's subunit has debuted. I cannot wait to hear what their music is going to sound like. You know, two people who are not singers necessarily. You know, they're usually given the rap parts in songs. So I'm just excited to hear what their music is going to sound like. I'm so excited to see the music video. Also, Jino and Jamin debuting as a duo. I mean, of course, Tin and Taeyong, even though like they're not an officially debuted duo. But anyway, it makes me excited for future duos that could possibly come, including the one that I want the most, Jaehyun and Winwin. Whatever, you know what? I don't care if it's one song. It will happen. It really just is the small things in life that keep me going, including this YouTube channel, including all of you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Everything I used in today's spreads will be in my Pinterest board, and the link to that is in the description box, along with the links to all of my other social media accounts, as well as the links to all of the Google Drive folders for all of my journal deco kits. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. I really appreciate you taking your time to hang out with me like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!